up? It's me.
At midnight each day.
It's midnight each day. It's me, the guy that plays games on this stream. That was a long intro. That was like 4 minutes. I'm sorry. I got distracted. No more distractions, okay? Yesterday, I spammed the Depp story button too many times, and I told too many stories. Let's actually get to the bottom of this murder. The more I've thought about this game, the more I think I'm just gonna use hints, and I'm already using the subtitle hints. Yeah, show subtitle hints always. So the subtitles actually show which words to type in. It's midnight. Let's talk to Jaya. So Jaya is our assistant. And I think one of the other characters said, why don't you talk to your assistant and ask her something, right?
Dr. Dekker felt that Hannah was holding me back. The memories of Hannah. In his opinion, I was holding on to the past. So I guess he cursed me, if that's even a thing.
I feel like we pursued that, but it's still showing a green dot. Oh, it's not showing a green dot now. Okay. Let's go with a hint on Jaya right away. How are you? I would have never known to ask Jaya how she is. I asked her where she was on Valentine's Day. I asked her... I have it written down what I asked her. I asked her about Ben finding the body, about Valentine's night in my office, about her the line of work of Ben. Ben is the night security. Yeah, and I found it strange that Jaya thought that night security guards would be more used to dealing with bodies. I'm pretty sure that 85+% of night security guards can have a 40-year career and never see a dead body. But he's a night shift cleaner. Night shift security and cleaner, right? And then we asked her about the police. Let's ask her how she is.
Hey you! Thanks for helping me with this grief thing. I'm not sure I have it though.
You're grieving?
I don't really know where to start. I feel a bit numb. Maybe we should just talk about him.
About Dr. Dekker?
It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. Mm-hmm. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell me things about the patients, things that I probably shouldn't have heard, but did. What do you think of the patients? Nah, perhaps you shouldn't say. You can ask me. Go on, I'll tell you what I think.
I wasn't paying attention to anything that was highlighted, but there was a couple of things there that she said.
Oh, I don't really know where...
Alright, let's ask her about feeling numb. You're feeling numb? You feel numb.
I don't know about...
Numb? You feel numb. I think that numb... Oh baby, did you... Oh, never mind. I think saying numb was just the key word to lead on to this next part.
It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell...
Alright, I'm gonna ask, what do you think about the patients?
Most of the patients are suspects according to the police. Almost all the patients are referred, and some of them are privates, but Dr. Dekker didn't introduce any of them.
Let's ask about working late. It's possible that Jaya was one of the people who was sleeping with Dr. Dekker. It feels like Dr. Dekker has literally slept with 4 people from the game so far. Right? There was Scarlett, who he supposedly had a date with on Valentine's Day night, which he probably didn't attend because he was murdered in his office, so he probably didn't leave and go on the date. There was Mariana. Is it Mariana? It's Mariana, right? And who else said? Well, there's possibly Jaya now as well. I'm putting that as a possibility, and I think Jasmine. Yeah. Let's ask about working late. You and Dekker worked late?
We'd worked late together on all sorts of things. He was preoccupied with finding patterns in patients, trying to find some kind of order.
Kind of patterns.
Mainly he was searching for a common experience the patients might have had.
Well,
that's
trauma.
what led them to his office. He'd study everything, even the referral letters.
Oh yeah, she said that Dr. Dekker didn't actually refer any of the patients to himself, right? Like, which makes sense. I don't think that a psychiatrist refers patients to himself ever, right? Like, that doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense. It makes more sense that the police referred them to him because a lot of them had issues with the police revolving around the police force. Does that fit in with the original Cthulhu story? I mentioned this before, but I've read some of the H.P. Lovecraft stories, and I've been reading them again recently. But I haven't read any in about a month, and I've never read any of the big ones. Because obviously they're short story compilations that are all 3 to like 7-page stories. But I haven't read his main big ones. If we go down the list, Nathan was referred to Dr. Dekker after the death of his girlfriend. Mariana was probably referred to Dr. Dekker by the police after being arrested for nudity multiple times. Elin said that she referred herself to Dr. Dekker because she thought she needed the company, needed somebody to talk to. But it's also possible that she was lying and she's also referred by the police after witnessing her neighbor dying traumatically and becoming a little bit, I don't want to say schizophrenic, but a little bit paranoid, right? Like maybe a little bit of paranoia nervosa or whatever you call it. Claire probably... Claire was probably referred by the police as well because she stabbed her husband, right? Bryce, I think he may have referred himself because his was just stress related. There was no event. There was no big breakdown from Bryce. He just had work related stress. He felt like he didn't have enough time in the day, and now he does because he has an extra hour at midnight. He has an extra hour at midnight.
Yes, letters, parking tickets, holiday destinations. You know, I find those referral letters. He was sure there was a pattern in them.
I'm gonna ask to see the letters. May I see those letters? Give me the referral letters. Referral letters? Referral letters. I think that's it.
It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet...
Dr. Dekker was quiet.
I'm not trying to hide anything.
Oh, a solitary man triggered that.
Know.
Oh, no, it didn't. That was just a thing where she fobs you off. Yeah. I think that the way this game works as well is if you have the subtitle hints turned on, but there is only like an optional thing to respond to, the optional subtitle hints aren't highlighted in any way. Let's go with Bryce. Let's talk to Bryce some more. How are you today? Is all of them? I'm not gonna read everything it says. Yeah, okay. How are you today is on almost all of them. Why would I be able to say yes, they found Agnes, or no, they didn't find Agnes? I wouldn't know that yet. What happened after Agnes let the woman into her house? I mean, didn't Lacey say that the woman murdered her and that's it? And then I don't think she described how the murder happened, but she said that Agnes went missing. Let's ask everybody how they are today. How are you today?
Beats me.
Fantastic. How are you today? How are you today?
There's something I want to tell you about.
Cool.
Something else that's wrong with me.
Uh-oh. Diarrhea?
I think I've been getting a bit out of control in my hour.
Out of control? How?
When I first got the hour, I was shocked, obviously. It took me a while to work out that everyone was frozen and only I could move, because I live on my own. What would you do, Doctor, if you had an hour where everyone was frozen?
Ooh, boy.
Go to a fairground?
Why would he go to a fairground? Real talk? Okay. I'm really gonna imagine this. I'm gonna use my mind palace, like Tyler Durden. Okay. If life froze for a literal hour. Okay, you couldn't steal scratch tickets. Because if time is frozen, you wouldn't be able to go in and steal like gambling, like those scratch cards, right? Scratch tickets. Scratch and wins. What do you call them? You wouldn't be able to do that because they need to be scanned in order to be activated in order to claim a prize. So you couldn't do that. Betting on a horse race wouldn't help because you wouldn't be able to tell the future. Time is just slowed. So anything that you gain, you'd have to physically gain through theft. So the best way... I'm trying to think of a way you could steal. It's very difficult. Because even if you tried to rob a bank as they were moving money in, even with an hour where time is frozen, it would be almost impossible to take the like briefcase of money and open it because it has those dye packets and alarms and GPS. And it's always at midnight. The hour's always at midnight, so most people are asleep, so you couldn't like rob a busy street. Your best bet would be like a nightclub or a restaurant, and to actually physically steal the stuff, right? And then you'd have an hour to get into the area and then out of the area. Hard, difficult, more difficult than it seems. Let's ask him about a fairground. Also, I'm gonna put on a hoodie. It is cold. I think the temperature right now outside is 7 degrees Celsius, possibly lower. It's been raining as well today, so there's no sunlight. There's been no sunlight all day. It's been raining for 3 days in a row, and I think it's gonna rain for another 2.
Ha! That was just an example, Doctor. I'm sure you can come up with more exciting things to do than that.
Gonna be honest, I feel like theft is like the best thing. Like, what gives you more? You know? What benefits you? You could use it to sleep, you could use it to like, I don't know, draw or paint, or learn an instrument, learn the piano. It's like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, but the thing is, you have all those days and all those hours already. You already have those extra hours. You just don't use them because you're unmotivated or, you know, you're disinterested. Okay. Bryce asked what I would do if I had an extra hour. Maybe I should suggest things he might have done to gain his trust. I wonder if he's stolen anything, or spied on anyone, or helped anyone. Alright. Right, being totally honest, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. If you had an enemy, you could really fuck with somebody. You could target a specific person and make their life a nightmare. You would literally drive them crazy. If stuff happens during the night when they're asleep, they wake up and like all their windows are smashed, or their I don't know, their car tires are let down. I'll give you an idea, right? There was a dude who had rubber ducks. Every day he'd put a rubber duck on his co-worker's desk, and he'd throw the rubber ducks out. Throw them out. And each new day there'd be another duck on his desk. And eventually the guy had a breakdown. This sounds like an episode of The Office. I've never seen The Office, so I don't think it was. I think it was on Imager. It was a story on Imager. It was like a repost of a green text from 4chan, but on Imager back in like 2011 or 12. Yeah. It got to the point where the coworker was like physically damaging the ducks to make sure it wasn't the same duck again. Like he got that paranoid. Strange. Anyway, you can fuck with somebody. I don't really know how else you would help people, because helping people is a bit like Robin Hood, right? In order to help people with that extra hour, you'd have to like take from somebody else to benefit them. I don't know. Alright. I'm gonna say I'd help people.
I did think, what good could I do, other than catch up with work? I did see a woman who was having her purse snatched, so I gave her purse back, and the crook, I placed him on a bus a few blocks away. I have no idea where it was going. She'd never really be able to thank me, so I took another picture.
May I see that picture?
I don't have anything to say to that.
A photograph?
I don't.
I'd steal things.
Yes, I would steal too. And I have stolen. I ran out of milk, so I thought I'd go to the local all-night shop and get some more. I was absolutely intending to pay, but when I got there, everyone was frozen. I thought about leaving money on the counter, but that seemed weird. The cashier would wake and suddenly this money would have appeared from nowhere. But I've stolen bigger things.
Bigger things?
From stealing milk, I moved on to petrol. From petrol, well, all those supermarkets have all kinds of electricals, so I've stolen quite a lot of that. I'm not proud. I think I've been doing it because I can, to prove to myself either way, my extra hour is actually real.
Is it real?
Nope.
What else did it suggest I ask him? I'd spy on people. I don't think I would. I feel like, you know, when you go to like a wax museum, I've only been to a wax museum twice in my life, and it was years ago. But when you go to a wax museum and the sculptures are realistic enough, you have an eerie sense of them actually being alive and watching you. For example, if you've ever seen these prank videos on like Jimmy Fallon, where they get the real Billie Eilish to pretend to be a Billie Eilish waxwork, or the real Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or, you know, the real Negan from The Walking Dead, and people walk around scared. Like, the way people walk around waxworks is like with their hands like T-Rexing in front of their body, like they're waiting to be jump scared. I feel like you'd be the same way if people were frozen. There used to be a show in the UK called something Magic Watch. What was it called? Not James and the Magic Watch. Bernard's Magic Watch. It was called Bernard's Watch. It's a show from 1997. Bernard Beasley is a boy who is late for everything. As a result of a mysterious postman... Wait. As a result, a mysterious postman gives him a watch he can use to stop time. Bernard's Watch is a children's British TV show. Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm just sitting here reading this now. It was only recorded for 4 years. Oh no. The first article to pop up is from the Sun newspaper in August 2021, and it says, "Where are the cast of Bernard's Watch now? From tragic deaths and cancer battles to dramatic career changes." Oh no. I don't want to know. With no notable appearances in over 12 years. Oh no, this is so sad. I can't read this. I can't read this. Right, let's fucking play the game. Alright, I'd tell him I'd spy on people, but I wouldn't really. Like I said.
Well, that
no
makes
sense.
me feel a little better. There's a young mother, divorced, who lives opposite me.
Okay.
Jessica.
Oh no.
She's friendly and says hello to me, smiles. I've always wondered what she looks like naked. So 1 hour, I broke into her house. She was standing in her bedroom. I took it as a sign. I took off her clothes and...
I don't think I want to know anymore. What did you do after that?
No.
Jessica?
I took photos of Jessica when she was naked.
That's
When I'd stripped her.
illegal.
When she was naked and frozen. I didn't want to have to do it again, to strip her again. So I took pictures to remind myself what she looked like. That's wrong, isn't it, Doctor?
It's literally a crime. It is literally a crime. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Bryce is a criminal. Alright, where's Bryce? Where's his notes? Where is Bryce's notes? The hell? There we go. Cancelled for looking at Booba. We're now changing that. Actual criminal. Took photos of his neighbor, Jessica, a young single mother. Actual madman. Actual criminal. Prime suspect. Yes, it is wrong.
I know. It's that bloody Dr. Dekker. He made me this way. It's all his fault.
How is it his fault?
Like I said, I originally presented with depression, and everything was going well for a while. Then Dr. Dekker changed.
He changed?
He was easily distracted during sessions, like he wasn't listening.
Same.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't listening half the time.
Same.
I don't think he wanted to know about his patients anymore. But when he did give you advice...
I don't know what he wants me to follow up with from that.
He was easily distracted during sessions, like he wasn't listening. I'm pretty sure he wasn't listening half the time. I don't think he wanted to know about his patients anymore. But when he did give you advice... He told me to use my imagination, to make something up, to think something crazy, and it would become real. He told me to think of a way to get more time. So I did. But he pushed me. He made me think it.
So this stems back to Dr. Dekker's chaos thing. I mean, the game is called The Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker. Is he driving them mad? Is he instilling them with chaos? Is he giving them supernatural powers from Cthulhu? I mean, what is actually going on? I think we pushed pretty hard with Bryce, but I don't know what else to ask him. Did you think of anything else?
I don't really...
Do you blame Dr. Dekker?
I dug the grave for Dr. Dekker. I helped carry his coffin to the burial site. Do you know what? It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it. Why do you think that is? No, the coffin wasn't empty. There was something in it. A decoy, I'd imagine.
Possibly it was a idol being returned to the ground. They said there were artifacts that were dug up.
I'm guessing he was buried somewhere else, or cremated. Somebody somewhere didn't want his body going in the ground. Do you want to be cremated or buried, Doctor?
I think he was put in the sea. He's pro-cremation, and I want to be on his side, so I'm going to say cremated.
That's a good choice, Doctor. Less work for me.
What else? I'm using a hint. Can you see something behind me? How would you ever know to say those things? All of the characters look bored, right? And like they're trying to get your attention during this stage. How would you even know to type this in? Possibly another character will say this stuff.
Sometimes I see a girl standing behind you. I don't know who it is. I don't know what you're asking me either.
I mean, that's hallucinations, boy. That's schizophrenia. A girl?
Sorry, Doctor, I dozed off there.
Is someone standing behind me right now?
Possibly a relative of yours. Possibly a patient that died here. I'm not sure. She doesn't normally say anything.
Oh. Has she spoken before?
Not.
Alright. You ever destroyed anything? Why didn't you stop seeing Dekker? I guess we can come back to him. Again, I wouldn't know how somebody would come up with this on their own. Possibly the game developers really intended you to use the hint system. That's why it's there. Games are made by Dekker Studios, who made The Shapeshifting Detective in 2018, which was after this. Actually, pretty shortly after this. From May 2017 to November 2018. That's when the release dates were. And obviously some of the characters from Shapeshifting Detective were in this. And it's not the same studio. It's not the same studio that made Oh wait, hold up. They have another game coming out which looks like it actually has a three-dimensional component to it. Some of the same actors are in it. It's called Murderous Muses. So, Dekker Studios isn't the same people that made... Yeah, it's not the same people that made Contradiction in 2015. Or the people who made At Dead of Night. That's Baggy Cat Limited. Interesting. I thought it was the same people that did all three. Did you just see that? Hold on. When I open Steam like this, can you see what I'm clicking on? No. I just wondered with them both being Chromium windows if it was showing you anything. That's weird. Let's go with Claire. How are you?
It's the anniversary of my parents' death today. I went to the lake house. I always go to the lake house anyway. But it's also where they died.
The lake house is not where she lives with her husband, right?
I stood for a while, looking across the water. It's peaceful there. It's the place that makes me feel the most. There was a girl there, by the lake, only about 9 or 10. She was fishing, if you can call it that, with one of those nets on a stick.
A girl? Is it the same girl that's
I don't know
behind
why
me?
I talked to her. She looked sad. I don't usually talk to children, but she seemed different, special. I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I, Doctor?
Yes, you can talk to children.
I don't have an answer for you.
She seemed sad.
David had been hunting again, and, well, she's seen some of the skins he hung around the lake house.
Your husband hunts?
Animal skins. David hunts, then skins. It's horrible, really. He's not really good at either job, so the skins still have great lumps of bloody carcass hanging off them. I'm sure he'll get better with practice.
That sounds horrific. I think when when you see those like stretched out hides of animals, you get this thing that has a handle on either side, and you scrape it down the body. It's like a long curved blade, kind of like a oh god, I can't remember the name of it. It's an Italian tool for chopping vegetables. I can't remember the name of it. It's not a mandolin. It's not a guillotine. It's not a melangier. What is it called? Can't remember. I'm kind of stuck with her, so let's just hint. Yes, you can talk with the girl. I said that. I said, yes, you can talk with her. This is what I was talking about with the chatbot AI thing. The chatbot AI would know that because we've been talking about the girl at the lake, if I said you could talk to her, she would immediately know that's the girl at the lake that I'm referring to.
Good. It felt nice. I felt like I was being nice. I felt human. So I can find her and talk to her again, Doctor.
I kind of want to follow up on that.
Then I will. I'll look for her next time I'm there.
Where's David today?
David wasn't there. Or at least I didn't see him. I didn't go inside. I forgot my key, and the spare was missing.
Key was missing?
I'm sure I had a spare key for the lake house, but I can't find it anywhere. I don't really need one if David is around. They died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Intentional?
I was staying at a friend's house. Otherwise, I would have died too.
Whoa. So, carbon monoxide poisoning is when, there's an excess of carbon monoxide in the atmosphere. It comes from heating units. Some heating units produce carbon monoxide, and it's very common next to the heating system, like either the boiler or the combination boiler, to have a monoxide detector. But typically, they release such low levels of carbon monoxide that people are poisoned slowly over a length of time. And the symptoms are things like confusion, brain fog, nausea, dizziness, sleepiness. Generally people just feel like they're losing their minds. I kind of see it as like that poisoning that people get. What's the heavy metal poisoning that they get? Is it magnesium? Mercury poisoning. It has those type of symptoms, as far as I know. I wouldn't have expected them to have died that quickly from it. How did the girl seem special? When did your parents die? How did you meet David? Do you love your husband? What were you doing on Valentine's night? Out of all these, the only one I would have asked would have been this bottom one.
Valentine's Day night, I was at the lake house, watching David, like I always do.
How can David hunt and fish, or hunt and skin stuff, if he's... I thought he was catatonic. I thought he was literally wheelchair bound and you know, she's talked about how when she leaves David, she comes back and he's in the same place, right? As if he's not very, what's the word? Independent? He's not like the most independent guy. I'm watching David.
He has trouble with his mental faculties.
See?
It's getting worse.
So he's got a bit of like dementia.
I'll watch him and make sure nothing bad happens.
Alright, let's skip to Ellen. Elim was actually one of the hardest to talk to. Oh, the only question there is how are you today, which is what I was going to ask anyway.
I haven't had a great day, to be honest.
Okay.
Someone accused me of stealing from my patients, which I would never do. Plus, Hilda's getting worse.
Hilda's the patient that's close to death. Tell me about Hilda.
Hilda's the one I mentioned in our last session.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She's dying. I can tell. I need to see her before it's too late.
Why do you need to see Hilda?
To help her finish her unfinished business. People who are dying always have things they wish they could do before they go. We leave a lot of loose ends in our lives. We're very messy that way.
Unfinished business? Is this not just a plot to Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Hilda wants to see her daughter. She's in Australia, so I'm going to have to use my talent.
Hold up. Hold up. Does this girl have the power of teleportation? That's telekinesis, Kyle.
I can change my skin. What I look like.
What?
I can turn into a patient's loved one. I just hold their hand and ask them to imagine that the person they want to see is sitting right here next to them, and I become them. It's how I help them move on. That's how I comfort them.
This is... Do they all have superpowers? Has the power to shapeshift. I mean, what else do I write here? You become them.
No, it doesn't hurt at all. I don't think it's a physical thing. I don't think my body actually changes. I think it's more like an illusion. Like my energy changes or something.
I am mind blown. How does Ellen still have a job? How does she still have a job? Should I keep... I think I'm going to keep using the hints. Let's go.
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
I think if you work in one of these places, you have to be careful with... especially end-of-life care, with people giving you gifts. Because what if they give you a gift and then that person's daughter comes in and accuses you of stealing it? I don't... If this... Here's the... Blah, 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 blah. I'm like getting myself tongue-tied. Often when people are in end-of-life care, or if people are in homes, they don't have power over their own finances and over their own well-being, right? Like that's part of what a home is. You get this thing called power of attorney, which means that you have the power to like adjudicate over somebody else's life. If a patient was so senile or had such severe like memory loss or Alzheimer's, or you know, their faculties weren't all there and they gave you a gift, they might not even have the power to do that because they don't have control over their own finances. Kind of like Britney Spears, right? Hashtag free Britney. Anyway, so if they gave you a gift, technically it could be seen as theft. It could be. Sorry for writing in your notes. Say hello to Ellen for me and let her know that Terry called for her. Jaya. Oh yeah, that was before. Ellen accused of stealing, but it started with the locket. What else have patients giving her? What else have patients given you?
I have a few other things. A watch, a ring. One patient gave me a little china bird. They're not valuable, just trinkets, really.
Trinkets?
Strictly speaking, all of the patient's belongings should be passed on to family members after they die. But Alice's son never visited. He didn't care about his mum. Why would he care about some worthless piece of jewellery? It just doesn't feel right to me. What do you think, Doctor? Am I wrong to keep the locket?
Okay, personally, yes. I feel that she's wrong. I feel it is stealing. I feel it is theft. I feel it's not up to her to make a judgment over something's value, because the value isn't just the financial value, it's the sentimental value. Yeah, I would definitely say it's theft, right? I think it's immoral, right? Like, if there's a scale of morality on 0 to 10, it's low on the immoral scale, but it's there, right? But I'm gonna tell her, I think it's okay.
I feel like you're asking me questions about something I don't...
Alright, I don't know what to type, so I'm gonna just... no, it's not wrong.
Thank you, Doctor. That makes me feel much better. I shouldn't let what Terry says bother me so much.
Wasn't Terry the person in the notes? Yeah, let her know that Terry called for her. Terry called for you.
Of course it was Terry that accused me of stealing. One of the other nurses. She's actually trying to make out that I'm some kind of HSK.
Hospital serial killer?
Healthcare serial killer.
Yeah.
You know, like those nurses that kill loads of their patients. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Anyway, because a few of my patients have died on me, and some of those patients have given me gifts, Terry thinks it means that I've been killing them off.
Have you been killing your patients?
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about that? You sure you're not sure? Alright. How does that comfort them?
I only shift at work to help my patients. I don't have any interest in using it as a party trick or to deceive anyone.
Can you try shape-shifting now?
I've shifted a few times now. I honestly couldn't tell you how many.
Can you shift now? Shift for me. Try shifting.
That's not really important.
Show me your power.
I think we've got a bit off track.
Alright, I'm gonna just skip to the hints. Tell me about Max. Now, she has never mentioned somebody called Max. I think Max showed up in somebody else's dialogue, but not in Elend's. Having a quick scan. Oh, had a date with Max on Valentine's Day. It was there. How was Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day? How can you tell when people are dying? These are like big obvious questions. Why am I not even thinking to ask them?
I've known Max a couple of years, but this is the first time we've been on a date. I don't think he's boyfriend material.
She said that before, yeah. Will you see Max again? How was Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day?
Dr. Dekker seemed fine on Valentine's Day. He seemed to be in a good mood. It didn't seem like anything was bothering him.
I think that's what the other woman said. She said that Dr. Dekker seemed hyped up because he was going on a date. Was it Mariana that said that? Mariana wasn't there on his final day, though. Did I write a part for Dr. Dekker? Had a session with Ellen and had a session with Claire on Valentine's Day. So it was Claire that said that he seemed upbeat.
I can sense it, you know?
You just sense death?
It's like when you're outside and there's a sudden change in the light or the air feels different and you know it's going to rain. It's like that. I always know when one of my patients is fading, even before the doctors know. Their energy changes. It sounds silly when I put it into words. I sound like my mum.
Tell me about your mother.
My mum's a nightmare.
Oh, wow, it worked.
I said she was into all this new age stuff, right?
Yeah, like you.
So she thinks she can tell me what I should be doing all the time because she got a message from her spirit guide that said I'm not eating well, or I'm not getting enough sleep, or I'm not looking after my inner moonbeam or whatever. It drives me nuts. But she's my mum. I love her, so I have to take it.
Moonbeam?
I don't know. Sorry.
You don't know about your inner moonbeam. Perhaps you'd ask someone else a question. Oh, it's done. I'm gonna sneeze. I just sneezed myself into oblivion, but I'm alive. I survived it. So some of these green ones that we have to still pursue, right? They have like a little green asterisk.
I only shift at work to help my patients. I don't have any interest in using it as a party trick or to deceive anyone.
Have you used your shifting ability to deceive anyone? This is too long.
I don't really have anything to tell you
Yeah,
about.
it's too long of a question. Let's just skip to the next person. How are you today? So just saying hello, Mariana, actually was what triggered that.
I haven't been back to the beach.
Do you miss the beach? We already asked her this. Have you been to the club?
Clueless.
But okay. Alright, let's use the hints. Were you seeing Dekker? Were you really washing your hair? Have you been dancing? Was that meant to sound suspicious when she said she was washing her hair? I thought that was like a real thing. Alright, let's go. Have you been dancing?
I've danced around in my living room, but no clubs since last time. I like dancing around in my underwear. Sometimes less.
Sometimes less? underwear?
Doctor, I don't think our relationship has got to that point yet.
Let me see your feet.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Give me something, game. Okay. Let me... Let me go with the ones we
People
saw.
are quick to put labels on everything. I suppose Dr. Dekker was more than just a therapist to me. We had a lot of things in common, but we weren't seeing each other.
Were you sleeping with Dr. Dekker? How old is Dr. Dekker? You're seeing someone at the moment. Wow, my throat. Can you hear, like, it's like my voice is just, like I turn into a zombie.
Some girls say that they're washing their hair when they don't want to go out, but I was genuinely washing my hair. Do you think my hair is pretty, Doctor?
Wow. Yes. Your hair is lovely. Do the carpets match the drapes?
It's such a mess. But thank you.
Why do girls do that? Why do they fish for compliments so hard? Men never do that. Men, you never hear a man outside of like a literal comedy show say something like, "Oh, been going to the gym. Do you think I've got a little bit too swole?" And then if a woman's like, "Yeah, you got big muscles," be like, "Oh no, I'm small." Like this is literally comedy stuff. This is literally like a sketch from SNL.
I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. Are you offering, Doctor?
Yes, I am.
Clueless.
Okay. Alright. Yes, I'm See, I still don't get the context thing. I feel like this is one where you have to agree with your patients again though, right? Why do you feel the need to ask if your hair is pretty? I would never have typed that in a million years. I said it out loud. Like I said, why do, you know, girls act like this?
I'm insecure, Doctor. Isn't it obvious?
No, it's not insecure. You do not dress or present yourself like an insecure person.
Well, you have my number, Doctor, and my address. I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together, if you want to.
Nice. Alright, let's go with Nathan. How are you? Nathan is the bloke that lives Groundhog Day.
Hello again, Doctor. I had a bit of a shaky loop incident, but let's not talk about it. Yesterday, I set fire to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I just wanted the day to move forward. I instantly regretted it. And lo and behold, here we are, a new day. Hannah's clothes are a pile of ashes.
You burned her clothes? Doesn't him burning things kind of seem like a ritualistic practice? Like, yes, it's his ritual for moving forward the days, but it also feels like it's a ritual for him to perhaps like bring her back to life or something, right? Like it's like some weird thing.
I've kept almost all of her stuff as she left it. It's just the clothes. I've decided to burn those yesterday, so here I am.
I told him to burn the
Hannah loved
photos.
clothes. Every season, she'd donate her entire wardrobe to some charity or another, and only buy stuff she loved. I was left with winter. I don't even know what her favourite season was. Does it matter? What's your favourite season, Doctor?
So there's 4 seasons. I wonder if it has a different thing for each one. It does. And that's the end of his thing. Can I ask him if he burned the clothes? Or the photos? Did you burn the photos? Oh, maybe that was still in this chapter when we, yeah, maybe that was... You can set it to only show his responses. This is so dark up here at the top that I couldn't even see it. I don't know what to answer. I'm thinking he has a different thing for each one. Do I just be honest? I'm gonna be honest with him. I'm gonna say spring.
If you like spring, you're supposed to be optimistic and creative. Well, that explains why we're still having these sessions.
Tell me about your mother. What's your favorite season? He hasn't even mentioned his mother.
She's dead. Thanks for bringing that up. I like winter. Being snowed in with Hannah. Just the two of us. It's paradise.
That's it. I think apart from the optional things, that's it. We just need to talk to Jaya. So I can ask Jaya her opinion on each of the people. What do I want to even say though? Do I want to like maybe take notes and write down Jaya's opinions? Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of a lot of this actually. Maybe Jaya could check Ellen's alibi with the taxi company. Jaya, can you check Ellen's alibi with the taxi company?
One step ahead of you, boss. Elin was picked up from the pier just after 11 p.m. There is no way she could have got from there to here in an hour.
Okay. So Elin is alibied. Do I want to mark her down as like my first crossed off the list person? What do you even call it? What do you call somebody that's been cleared? A suspect that's been cleared? An innocent? I don't know. Alright, let's just go through this.
Mariana is a special girl. You know, there's something about her that just makes you want to follow her. Maybe that's what a trendsetter looks like. I think Bryce has a lot of misdirected anger. I don't think I like him that much. You know, sometimes when things overrun, he's outside waiting for you, and he stares at me as if he's undressing me with his eyes. You know, he's not the first person that's done that, but still, you know, it feels worse coming from him.
A lot of the characters have said that Bryce is like creepy and weird. I guess because we're playing as a man, we don't notice it as much. I mean, he is an actual criminal now, though.
Claire seems to be shaken by something. You know, I offer her drinks every time she comes in, but she always refuses them. It's as if she just wants to come in, get her session over with, and then run off to do something else. It's a bit rude, isn't it? Elin seems like a lovely person. I'm not really sure why she's here. Oh, I just want to cuddle Nathan all up. He's such a mess. He's always in the same clothes. You know, he barely talks to me though. It's the same hello every time. He reminds me of Tom.
Has she ever mentioned Tom?
Tom was a quiet mess, like Nathan. Youngish, in his early 20s. He taught piano, but he did have a strange hobby. Tom liked to base jump. That's basically falling from a huge building or mountain and pulling your parachute before you hit the ground. He started to think he could fly. Dr. Dekker tried to talk him out of it, but Tom had to prove his point. So one day, Tom decided to base jump without a parachute. Can you guess what happened?
Tom died.
He did die. He was hit by a rock from further up the mountain. He never got to fly. Nathan thinks he knows what his problem is too, but if he's not careful, he'll get hit by that rock. I wish I'd said goodbye.
There's someone you wanted to say goodbye to. Isn't that Tom?
I liked Tom. I never got to say goodbye. I did with Dr. Dekker though, so I suppose that's some closure.
Are we actually interviewing her like a therapist
Dr.
again?
Dekker tried to fire me, not long before his murder, so we got to say what we wanted to say then, and I've got the termination letter somewhere. It's not going to stick, obviously. Professor Alderby and the Trust will overrule it, but it's nice to know what he felt about me. Professor Alderby is a trustee. Did I not mention that?
So Alderby was a patient and a trustee, so he was actually investing into the business. Oh shit. Regret to inform you that your services are no longer required. Please clear out your desk and leave by the end of this week. This letter is such a flashbang as well. Like,
Nothing.
it's so bright. There's nothing else really to notice here apart from it happened on the 13th, right? Like it was the day he died. Do I want to continue or do I want to... Right, I'm going to ask her, what do you think about Jaya?
It's very interesting that you asked me that. It's not something I can answer though.
Alright. Did we get her to talk about Lacey?
I can't help you with that.
She didn't tell me anything about Lacey, right? I don't even remember Lacey much. What is your problem?
That sounds like something I should know about.
Oh yeah, this was the Agnes stuff that I don't even know how you would be able to phrase that without clicking hint.
I could only see the silhouette. It turned from a person into a, well, it looked like, I guess you'd call it a Medusa. Snakes for her face. And Agnes just fell to the floor. A few minutes later, the woman left, smiling like the cat that got the cream. That was the end of Agnes.
Medusa? Do you think this has been like a tentacle face, like mind flayer type thing, and she saw it as that because she only saw the silhouette? I'm gonna say no, they didn't find Agnes. I want to be on her side, right?
They haven't found her because that thing ate her. Or made her disappear or something. Her useless husband managed to survive unscathed, though.
Tell me about Agnes's husband.
Sorry, I've not...
Oh, Agnes' husband.
Don't know much about him. Other than the fact that he looks at me like I'm 6 foot under every time we meet. He doesn't seem too bothered she's gone missing either. He did at first, when the police were crawling around. But now they've gone, that stopped. If I hadn't seen that thing eat her, I'd... No. He's a weaselly little man. He spends far too much time in his garden. It's probably like the National Trust back there. The constant digging and building, pruning and sawing.
Sawing?
What a thing to say! Why would you say that? I kept watching the front door after that saleswoman had left and nothing. She didn't leave. And you can't get out the back since the council sold the garage block. Ron's a gardener, not a killer. Unless...
So sawing led on to the digging thing, but it shows in my notes as sawing. Yeah, makes sense. Let's say unless...
Agnes said Ron was laying the foundations for a new greenhouse. You don't think... I need to call the police. I need to call them now. But they won't listen to me. I tried to tell them about the monster, but they didn't believe me. They won't believe me about this, I promise you. Please, could you call them, Doctor?
I've probably got to tell her yes to side with her, right?
Thank you, Doctor. Now give me a pen and I'll write down the details for you. Don't you want to know why Dr. Dekker called me the Leech Lady?
So being friendly with her is what's revealing her power. Let me review this real quick. What powers did people even have so far? Jasmine didn't have a power yet, right? I don't think so. Oh! Jasmine said that paintings move when she sees them, and the ones with people are the worst ones, and they move like little vines, and we thought she was saying like Vine video. Jaya doesn't have a power. Bryce has his extra hour. Claire is... What is Claire's power? She hasn't told us what her power is, right? She said that Dr. Dekker made her an offer she couldn't refuse. I'm gonna... Wait, hold on. What did Dr. Dekker offer you? Shit.
Dr. Dekker was more animated that day.
Yeah. She said that I need to get to know her better. Possibly we failed in getting to know her, or maybe we're too early in the dialogue tree, but I told her she could talk to the little girl again, and that should be the thing that makes me friendly with her. Elin's is that she can tell me people are gonna die, and she can shapeshift, help them cross over. Mariana's power seems to be the power to fucking randomly black out and wake up naked on a beach, which is also just the power of tequila. Nathan has the power to relive the same day over and over again. So, Lacey's leech lady thing.
He said that I leech thoughts from people. Suck 'em right out of their heads. And I can put thoughts in there too. I'm not that clever though, am I, Doctor? I mean, it's not as if I was having an affair with Ron and Agnes was in the way and needed to disappear. So I made this story up. I mean, what do you think I do for a living anyway?
Hold on a second. You see how everybody's lit like very similarly, like the strong light on the right side and then the shadow falling on the left? And it's a controlled light, right? Yeah, I would say this is a controlled light. It's not window light. You can kind of tell that because the shadow distance on the nightstand doesn't change too much. Even though the camera position changes, that shadow doesn't change. So, is it possible though that they tried to make Lacey's exposure different to make her look like scarier? Because if you look at the right side of Mariana's face, you got a lot of detail in this side of her face, right? Like there's actually a lot of like warm orange colors and like, you know, warm tones. Nathan is pretty dark on the right side of his face. He's pretty dark, but he has like reddish tones and whatever. Whereas Lacey's is like almost completely just black. Not so much here actually. Hold on. I'll see if I can get another one before we like ask her the next question. But definitely in the yeah. It's pretty dark. It's like the exposure is different. You still double glazing?
Doctor, you're so good. We're going to get on just fine.
Wait. She went green. She told me that she saw somebody who sells double glazing. Wait. Lacey believes a smartly dressed saleswoman goes door to door selling double glazing and murders them. Used to have a... Wait. Lacey's literally just admitted to murdering her neighbor. Essentially admitted to murdering her neighbor Agnes to sleep with Bob, Agnes's husbando, and that she's a double glazing sales woman. That's the first one we've got to go green. Oh yeah, shit. Some of these have opened. Who or what is Cthulhu? Oh my god, this has opened up so many questions. Elin's the only one that doesn't have any. Oh, the bottom 4 don't have any. Let's go to Jaya. Let's ask the Cthulhu stuff. Let's push this forward, because we are pretty deep into this game. Let me check Steam and tell you how many hours we've played. I played 5.3 hours of this game so far. I think that's up to date. I think that is up to date. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually closer to 7 now, because I've been streaming for like an hour and 15.
So you watched the tapes, huh? Gold star for you. It smashed.
Huh? The glass smashed. Oh yeah, the glass flew at the end of the Alderby tape video. Yeah, this includes the Alderby tape. I wish we could fast forward and rewind that tape instead of just watching it all the way through. Alright, let's go back to Bryce and ask, have you ever destroyed anything? Why didn't you stop seeing Dr. Dekker? Let's go with destroyed.
Yes, I suppose I've destroyed a few things whilst in the hour. You can be the perfect supervillain. Nobody knows it was you.
I guess the follow-up is, what has he destroyed? Supervillain?
I have no idea.
What have you destroyed?
Because you have to hope, don't you, Doctor? It's only the power of hindsight that made me realize how toxic it all was. And after a point, you go too far to be able to come back anyway.
Alright. I'm sorry to do this, but it's 11 PM. I am gonna end the stream. It's a really short stream today. It's only been an hour and 16. But it is what it is. I started late. I started really late. You know? Alright. Auf Wiedersehen for now. We're at the end of this act. I think this is Act 5. Progress is 100%. We're pushing through. We're like a third of the way through the game. I mean, maybe 2 more streams if I do like long streams and we could like finish this whole game out. I'm liking the story. The interface, I mean, it's 5 years ago. It's using the old style of like input-output AI. It's not actually like very intelligent. I had this conversation already, but if you have a Amazon Echo and you ask it, say you ask it, what job does Tom Hanks do? And it'll say Tom Hanks is an actor. And then you ask it, what does Tom Hanks do for a living? It'll say Tom Hanks is an actor. And you'll say, what does Tom Hanks do for work? It'll say Tom Hanks is an actor. Those are like 3 different ways of asking the same question. This game would really benefit from that type of system, instead of relying on you to trigger and hit specific keywords. It would be nice if it could do like correcting your spelling, removing capitals, getting the gist of what you're saying to ask the question, and like, you know, checking it better, if that makes sense. Like if you were to ask, if you ask what is the Hibbs score, it would say the Hibernian score is blah blah blah, because it knows that Hibbs is Hibernian, right? It's just that type of thing. Like if you say what's the Celtics score, it'll say the Boston Celtics score is, because it knows that the Celtics you're talking about is the Boston Celtics. Anyway, Auf Wiedersehen. Maybe tomorrow I'll play something else. Maybe my motivation to play this is dropping, but I do want to finish it. I feel like it's getting good, right? Like where I am now, 5-6 hours into the game, is when it's going to start playing its cards, and we're going to find out like more about each person, and then it should start to pick up. I don't know. All right, auf Wiedersehen. See you guys tomorrow. Good night. Thanks for watching. Tschüss. Tschüss.